Alright, reaction squad. Back with another video. Today we're gonna be reacting to Young Don, the Sauce God. You know what I mean? The animator. You know the animator from Jamaica? Yeah, that one. Alright, today we're gonna be reacting to him, so let's get into it. This one is named I Got Suspended in High School. Let's go.
As a result, we were warned that anybody who caught a suspension, even once, for any reason at all, was not going to be allowed to walk the stage during graduation. And I know Pablo Escobar got shot or whatever, but that actually sounds way better than having to tell your Jamaican mother that you can't participate in graduation. I mean, death by firing squad sounds way more pleasant if you ask me.
Okay, that's...
So I almost didn't graduate high school in Jamaica because the dean of discipline of my school caught me selling candy during morning devotion. Now, I know most of you watching live in a...
Alright, so that's a funny story. When I was in like kindergarten, I was like selling crayons. Yeah. I used to sell crayons for like 50 cents for each crayon. It's crazy. I made a lot of money though. A lot. Trust me. Let's get back into it.
America. So, morning devotion, dean of discipline, these might be unfamiliar terms to you. Now, for the uninitiated, grew up in Jamaica, graduated Jamaican high school at 16, moved to America, did junior and senior year in Florida, and then graduated American high school. But this story is in the Jamaican high school, so stick with me here. There are a lot of differences between high school in Jamaica and high school in America. Public high school in Jamaica, everybody wears uniform. In America, you pretty much wear whatever you want. Jamaican public school, we start the day off with morning devotion, where we sing praises, clasp our hands, close our eyes, and pray to the good Lord Jesus Christ. In American high school, you make TikToks with your buddies, or whatever the fuck you niggas are doing in 2020. Oh, that's right, y'all niggas in Zoom class. That's right. In American public school, all throughout the campus, you have these large magical boxes where for just a little bit of pocket change you can get just about any snack or drink that your little heart desires. In Jamaica, it's a little different. When I was going to school, we didn't have vending machines on the campus. Instead, we have street vendors, people with carts that they fill with snacks and drinks and all kinds of shit, and they push it down the street, and that's where you go when you want to buy a snack. And in a lot of ways, it's better than a vending machine because you can't eat with a vending machine. If it costs $1.25 for the Doritos, you better have $1.25. With the street vendors, shit, they'll take $1.15. Anyway, what this means is that the only time you can get any food, snacks, candy, drinks during school in Jamaica was during your 45-minute lunch period. Because street vendors pushing their carts down high school hallways during class time would be ridiculous. Which means if you didn't bring snacks to school or you didn't stock up during lunchtime, during the rest of school you
Ads.
pretty much have no way to get any food, especially snacks and especially candy. This created what I like to call a snack vacuum, where other kids saw an oppressive school rule that prevented you from getting candy during class time. I saw a business opportunity. And to be fair, I didn't come up with the idea. I saw this other kid selling Jolly Ranchers out of his backpack to my classmates, and immediately I was like, yo, that's a lot of money. I could be doing that. So I went up to the kid and I asked him where does he get the candy. He told me that he buys it in bulk at a wholesale. Instantly, I remembered that my cousin that I grew up with, who was like a big sister to me, was married to a Chinese guy who owned a wholesale downtown. So I went home, told my mom about the business idea, and of course, she was very supportive. My mom has always supported anything I wanted to do, so long as it didn't get in the way of school. So she called my cousin, who spoke to her husband, who then basically was giving me the candy for the price that he was getting. Meaning, I was getting my candy for less than wholesale price. Do you get that? Let me break this shit down to you. Okay, so let's say you go in a gas station, right? You look down by the register, what do you see? A big box of Snickers bars, $1 each. And let's say the box holds 20 Snickers bars. If you wanted to buy all 20 Snickers bars, you would have to pay $20. Well, if you were to go to a wholesale store, you could just buy the big box unopened for $10. So now you're paying 50 cents per Snickers bar. And that's because the guy who owns the wholesale store is buying these boxes by the crate load directly from Snickers. So he's getting them for like 5-10 cents per Snickers bar. That's the price I was paying because the guy who owned the wholesale store was making babies with my cousin, who again is like a big sister to me. It's not what you know, it's who you know. After one day of selling candy, I made back my initial $20 investment plus profit. By the end of the week, I had 2 other dudes selling candy for me. I was making so much money that I stopped asking my mom for lunch money. Of course, she would still give it to me, but that just went right back into the business, of course. And I was never a tough guy back in school, but something about having other dudes who grew up in the hood report back to you at the end of the day with money in their hand, it just gives you a certain Pablo Escobar-esque type feeling, you know? Now the truth is, these niggas were stealing from me constantly. They stole candy, they stole money, but because the profit margins were so high, it was worth the loss. I was still making money hand over fist. Now, of course, a guy like Pablo Escobar would disagree with that based on principle. You know, he'd cut their legs off and throw them in a river. But me, Christian boy, I go to church on Sundays, and I just wanted some new shoes, an Xbox, you know, some cool clothes. That's all I really wanted. So if that meant having to take a loss here and there, well, that was okay with me. Now, if you were paying attention during the beginning of the video,
I wanted to say something. I believe like school no one just selling stuff because it's like you're taking a step into selling drugs. You know what I mean? Like being a Pablo Escobar.
Rocket scientists to realize that this was probably against the rules, right? Actually, this was so against the rules that if you were caught selling candy to other students, you'd get suspended. 3 suspensions and you're expelled. But I wasn't worried about getting expelled. What I was worried about was not graduating. You see, my senior year of high school in Jamaica was on record the most disobedient, disrespectful, unruly graduating class to have ever come out of Arden High School. At least according to the dean of discipline, the music teacher, the principal, and everybody else who we were supposed to be listening to. As a result, we were warned that anybody who caught a suspension, even once, for any reason at all, was not going to be allowed to walk the stage during graduation. And I know Pablo Escobar got shot or whatever, but that actually sounds way better than having to tell your Jamaican mother that you can't participate in graduation. I mean, death by firing squad sounds way more pleasant if you ask me. So one morning, during morning devotion, I was chilling at my desk when one of my homies and classmates, Peter, looks over to me and gave me that look. It was that, hey, got any candy look? And of course, by now, everybody knew I was the plug. My gut told me that it was too early to start selling, you know? I mean, if for no other reason than the fact that it's the Lord's time. I mean, we're supposed to be praying to God right now. Here I am slinging illegal candy under his nose. So Peter comes over to my desk, hands me like, I don't know, 25 cents, which probably back then got you about a few Jolly Ranchers, you know, just enough to hold you over till lunchtime. I discreetly pass Peter the candy, and as I'm pulling away my hand, I look up, and who do I see staring me in the soul?
Damn.
The dean of discipline. Instantly, my heart drops. I put my hands in my pocket, and I look down at my desk, and I'm just hoping that he did not realize what just occurred. But but he was not a fool. All I hear is, Mr. Hines, to the front of the classroom, please. Fuck. I start walking to the front. Whoa, Mr. Hines, don't forget your bag. Bring that too. As a matter of fact, here, give it to me. I'll keep it safe. And we walk to his office, and we get to his office. He sits me down, opens the bag, sees the candy. Mr. Hines, are you aware of the consequences of being caught soliciting candy during school hours? Yeah. So then you know you will not be walking the stage with the graduating class. Yeah. And you have nothing to say for yourself. When I don't show up to school next week, ask my mother where my body is buried. Oh. Mr. Hines, you know, I thought you were much smarter than this. I'm also aware that you're an okay student. You don't really get in trouble. So here's what I'm willing to do, Mr. Hines. I will allow you to walk the stage with your classmates. But you are still suspended. You must show up to school tomorrow wearing the black and white. And if you are caught soliciting candy again, I can guarantee that you will not be graduating this year. You understand me? Yes, sir. Good. All right, now go back to your class. Oh, one more thing, Mr. Hines. Thank you for the candy. It will not go to waste. And thus marks the end of my legal candy selling career. Taught me a lot. Had a lot of fun. Made me...
That's like the most best and the most painful way to go out, man. To know that you was doing it for that much time and then you finally get caught. It's the best and the most efficient way, you know what I mean?
No, your mommy know you're gone.
Money. I'm glad I got to graduate. But you know what? Even if I didn't, I'm glad I did what I did.
Look at it eating the
No reward.
candy.
And sometimes, the greatest reward is finding out that you have the balls to take the risk in the first place. Yeah, that kind of sounded good. We gotta go! Baby, we're wasting our time.
Alright, so this marks the end of Young Don the Sauce God. I got suspended in high school. See you in another video. Make sure to keep the peace in the world. Keep grinding and you will make it. Peace.